building your first NFT. Yeah, it's exciting stuff. I'm wondering, do we have people in the chat? Should I be watching the chat? I'm new on this platform. So my name is Ezenwa Isiogu. I've been obsessed with NFTs since early 2020, locked up in the pandemic on Clubhouse, talking about these new digital primitives that we're going to use to, build new negotiations for humanity and, restructure society and all that good stuff. So today, got the agenda. I guess I'm going to be going over Ethereum wallets. I know you guys probably already had a good introduction to that, so that hopefully will go quick. Just getting ready to set up your Eth Wallet so that you can interact with OpenSea, so that you can mint your first NFT, and then going through minting it and then listing your NFT for sale. Yes, Eth Wallets. It's my understanding that everyone has gone over Ethereum wallets. I heard a lot of really good advice about staying secure and making sure you don't get scammed. There's all these phishing attacks, and so I'll just kind of, I guess, run over that really quick. So let's see, go back here. So for interacting with OpenSea, I use MetaMask, and it's my recommendation to use Brave browser. It's a privacy browser. It has some cool features. You can set up Brave rewards so that you get paid for clicking on the advertisements. You can connect your wallet to Gemini, and you can get some free crypto that way. But one of the cool things is that they don't send your information out of the browser to send you targeted ads. And we all like privacy. But I find that MetaMask just works the best, like with, connecting your wallet to different decentralized apps. So far, I've had the least amount of headache using Brave browser. I thought I had the link. I'll drop the link to MetaMask. Make sure you have the right link. Always double check, triple check your links. So yeah, I dropped that link in here. So if you haven't already downloaded MetaMask, go ahead and download MetaMask and install that. And I'll give you guys a few minutes, I guess, to do that. I heard the last speaker was, talking about your seed phrase. Make sure nobody's watching you while you back that up. Definitely make sure you back up your seed phrase. If you do end up, selling your first NFT or whatever for millions of dollars and you lose that, you'll be sad. And I have, I don't know if they talked about it, but I actually used a steel. Let's see if I can find it. I have my seed phrase in this guy. It's a bunch of little metal pieces. I'm gonna have to redo that now, but this way, if there's a fire ever, I'll still have my seed phrase. It's that important. You got to back it up. So once you have MetaMask installed, you need to create a wallet. It'll go through the steps. You have to create a password and add that to your password, your manager if you have one, I suggest. And write the seed phrase down again. So let's see. Back up, double check. And so for this example, you're not actually going to need any ETH in your wallet because we're going to mint using Polygon, which is a free to mint. But if you were going to mint using Ethereum, you would obviously need some Ether for transactions in your wallet. So OpenSea, there are a lot of different marketplaces. I guess, does anyone have any questions? Should I slow down? I don't know if anyone can see me. If anyone, I guess, needs, oh, there we go, comments. What does the term blue chip mean? Blue chip means it's a really expensive NFT. So you're good. Okay. So OpenSea. So in order to OpenSea? Yeah, so I guess OpenSea means pirates. Be careful, they are out there. Always check your URL. I know you guys, again, it's probably beating a dead horse, but there was a recent phishing attack that happened where a lot of people were targeted with the email during OpenSea migration, and a lot of people lost a lot of money. So always check your URL when you're operating this space, because you never know. Never click on links advertising for anything. And if you see the acronym DYOR, it stands for do your own research. And it's part of the Web3 ethos is, don't just ape in to projects, as we say. Make sure that you are doing your research and figuring out like who's the team, like what's going on, and is this something that you really want to invest your energy and money into. There are other tools besides OpenSea. There's sites like Rarible. It's actually what I minted my first NFT on. Foundation. There's Super Rare. Again, do your own research. Different platforms they're all just tools, services, and one platform isn't better than the other one. And you never know what's gonna come around that might knock down the top marketplace, which is OpenSea right now. Yeah. So the first exercise is to connect to OpenSea. So first you want to go to OpenSea, and I'm going to do this along to make sure I'm on the right step. And you want to click the wallet in the top right corner. So if you're on OpenSea.io, click the wallet in the top right, and you're going to want to click connect using MetaMask. Actually got to sign out real quick. So MetaMask. MetaMask will ask you for your password and ask you if you want to connect. If it's the first time connecting to OpenSea, you'll be asked to sign a message, and be careful when you sign messages. So yeah, once you're connected, you should see a profile icon, and you should be able to start creating your first NFT. Is anybody having any issues connecting to OpenSea? Make sure everybody's following along. All right. So minting. So yeah, there's lots of ways to mint. There's different terms like lazy minting or batch minting. Batch minting is when you mint all of your tokens at the same time, when you deploy a contract that creates the tokens, versus lazy minting is when you create a contract that has a transfer function, where if somebody sends money to the contract, that it mints the token then on the spot. And the good thing about that is that you can offset some of the cost of minting the token onto the users that are buying the token. So if you were doing like a 10,000 PFP project, it would be a lot of gas and transactions to mint all of that. So you could make a mint button, and when people buy that, they're paying for the transaction to be minted on the chain themselves. So for this example, we're using OpenSea, so we're just going to be minting one token, and we're going to be using a cool feature on there for Polygon that lets us mint for free. So if you click create, I guess I'll talk about minting real quick. There's lots of different types of NFTs. Lately, I've been really exploring music NFTs. I think that's kind of the new, where all the cool kids are hanging out. I think it's going to bring in a lot of people into NFTs from the mainstream. There's a new platform called Mint Songs that I've been playing around with. There's Catalog. I don't know, there's a lot, but anyway, for NFTs, you can upload a picture, a GIF, a SVG, MP3. On OpenSea, it has to be less than 100 megabytes though. So I'm hoping to see some of the max file sizes on these go up in the near future. One of the cool things about, I have a typo in that slide, about minting is you can set the royalties and how much money the owner of the NFT gets every time it's transferred. So on OpenSea, they take, I think, 2.5% every time there's a transfer on it. And so one of the benefits of using your own contract or possibly a different platform is that you could either not have to pay for the transferring fee that is added to the token when you mint it, or being able to split royalties, or just have more control over what the royalties for that contract are. But yeah, the good part about NFTs is having provenance, ownership, and just being able to, authenticate like that it's genuine, right? It's really just a document that says that you have ownership of something, right? This is good for artists because a lot of people have their art stolen. So to be able to say that this came from the artist is a cool thing. So yeah, so the first exercise would be minting an NFT. So navigate to OpenSea.io, click on the wallet in the top right corner, and select MetaMask, and I guess you're connected. And then yeah, click create. MetaMask should open. It says welcome to OpenSea. Click in and sign and accept the OpenSea terms. So I'm going to sign the message, and you should be prompted with a create new item form. You can add an image. If you don't have an image, there should be an image in the GitHub repo, I believe. You're going to go ahead and name with the NFT. If you have an external link, you can add that, like a website. You can add a description, and then properties, levels, and stats. So a lot of NFTs have different traits. If you figure certain games might have different properties, or collectible items have different, I guess, quality levels or whatever. And so you can add all of that metadata into these forms here. If you see the unlockable content option, this is an option where if you have some physical goods that you, or other services that you want to add to the NFT, like a promo code for an item on like a Shopify site or something like that, you can add that in here, and only the owner of the NFT will be able to view that content. So then for this example, we're going to be selecting the Polygon blockchain, and it should be, and then supply, and then click the create button. Go back to here, trying to understand supply and demand guidelines for NFT. So limit on how many people can purchase. Yeah, you can set the amount of tokens and create your own like scarcity model. So if you want to create one NFT, you can just create one. You can create additions. You can create 10 of 10, 100 of 100. You can release 100 NFTs and then have a sale and then burn the rest of them after a certain amount of period to increase the scarcity of it. It really depends on you and what you want to do for your, like, that works for your art or your project. I know a lot of people have success with doing like regular drops, like every 2 weeks for artists. So now I have an NFT in an Untitled collection. You can edit your collection later. If you click on the collection, while you're minting, if you go back to create, there's a tooltip next to collection that says manage your collection here. So you can add the name of that if that bothers you later. So I think you should have an NFT minted by now. Can you show us what you are doing outside of your slide? Yes, maybe. Let's see, what if I go here? Does that work? It does work. Okay. Okay, yeah, I'll run through that again. Hopefully it works here. So I'm logging into MetaMask. Ledger. Right now I'm on the wrong network, so I'm going to switch to Ethereum mainnet. Should be good. Clicking on the wallet to connect with MetaMask, and I should be connected. And then I went to create. Must go Meta and use this MetaMask. I guess I don't know if you can see my wallet while I'm doing this, or just the tab, but that's probably my hardware wallet. No, I have a hardware wallet, and so it's asking me to plug that in. All right. Let's see, page is lost. All right, so sign. Just refresh this page real quick. Yeah, it should be good. Yeah, I don't know. OpenSea goes down a lot. I don't know why. Sometimes it just takes forever too. Let me see what you're doing on OpenSea site. Okay. Sharing my desktop terrifies me, but I'm going to try that anyway. Okay. So I had this all set up so I didn't have to use a hardware wallet because I knew it would be a pain. Oh. So yeah, so I just went through here. After you do create, I added an image here, name, external link. Let's see. Do it right now. The collection blank. Make up some properties, add those. Again, here's the unlockable content you can add here. And then the supply, the number of items that can be minted, no gas cost. So if I'm on here, I can change this to like 100. The one now, and then click create. So then, woo, you have just created meta example. And share this with all your friends. So yeah, here is the token that I just did. I definitely don't recommend uploading pictures of stuff from MetaMask. This is not financial advice. So yeah, so the next step would be to sell it, I guess. Go to slide here. Find my slides.
So real quickly, one of the questions that came up from Angeline was like, what's the importance of unlockable content I was wondering maybe you could give her a little bit of insight there.
Yeah, so for unlockable content, you can sell physical goods, or you can add utility. So imagine if you have a toothbrush store, and you wanted to sell your toothbrushes to the NFT community or using NFTs, you could add a promo code for 100% off one of your toothbrushes into that unlockable area, and then the person who buys the NFT will have access to that code or that link. You know, um, so you can add extra utility, I guess, is the short answer there. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah, and I'll add to it real quickly is that so for like the hacking with the homies ticket, we have some unlockable content, and that unlockable content is actually a 4-digit. Well, it could be between a 3 or 4-digit code. So next year, whoever has that ticket will have a place on our website where you'll be able to place that code, and that will unlock you from being it. That unlock some additional utility, and that utility will equal being able to get access to the conference next year and to get access to hopefully some private talks with one of our speakers. So that's how we used unlockable content. So sorry, I'll hand it back over to you.
No, yeah, very cool.
Yeah.
So let's see, where am I at? So yeah, so you have your token now, hopefully. And the next step should be to list it. There we go. Can I have it? Okay. So you don't have to list it. You could just sell it yourself. You could trade it. You could give it away. But obviously, part of the appeal is having new ways to like make money and have opportunities to build equity. So after you have your token, you can sell it. I'll go through that for a second. So I'm going to talk about, there's other marketplaces. I talked about that a little bit. There's what I've been looking at called Zora. That's really interesting, and I encourage everyone to maybe as extra credit check out Artiva after they get up and going with their NFTs. It allows you to create your own marketplace where you can sell pieces and create auctions for NFTs. And another kind of cool solution is this one-to-all. It's a no-code solution built with Bubble, which I think someone is talking about in the conference here also. That uses the Rarible API to mint tokens. And one of the cool things about that is that you can mint using the Rarible API, but if you sell it on your own platform or your own site, you don't have to pay any of the transfer fees. So it's a way to save money. And yeah, I just recently got into Tezos. And yeah, I think there's a lot of fun stuff happening there. So I want everyone to, if you're into NFTs, I feel like you have to go where the scene is in the community. And right now, Tezos is popping. There's a lot of rappers and musicians and artists that I really enjoy, and I'm having a really good time in that space right now. It gives me a throwback feeling to when this space was kind of newer and fresher. So yeah, so to mint, you're going to click the sell button. It's right here. And enter the amount of ETH. I'm going to put in, I want 100 ETH for this. And then you're going to put in the duration. How long is the auction going to be available for? Which is something to think about. If you put it for a month, sometimes that could be scary because if the price of ETH drops a lot, could fluctuate. I know you have to be careful and think about that. Make sure you get what you're looking for. But you put in the date and then complete listing. It's pretty simple. To unlock the currency, it's going to ask me to sign again in MetaMask. Get this crazy function signature. It looks kind of scary. Click sign and unlock. My wallet wasn't open. Just hit your transaction. I find that with a hardware wallet, if I mess anything up during it, it just messes everything up and I have to reset the browser and just kind of start over again. This thing. I'm not sure what's going on, but hopefully if you don't have a hardware wallet, that should be working fine. All right, I don't know what's going on with that. Is anyone else following along that's having an issue is the question. Because what it's asking to do right now is it's asking for permission to edit or to have access to wrapped Ether, which is what you're using on Polygon. Everything is wrapped Ether. You only have to do that one time and then you're good. Yes, I agree with this statement about having your own smart contract. All of these tools are just tools, and they're a good way to start. But you definitely want to learn more about the benefits of owning your own contract. Yeah, there's tools like Manifold or this new startup called Easily that are making it easier to have your own contract. But yeah, I guess that's pretty much it for minting and listing. I'm frustrated that I couldn't list this, but it's probably for the better anyway. Yeah, does anyone have any questions? How can we create our own contracts? Type in here. I'm trying to figure out how to add something to the chat, but I just added a link to the private chat for Manifold. It's a tool that allows you to create your own contract if you're not a developer. To build your own and deploy those networks. Yeah. There we go. Yeah, and then I don't know, I haven't used this, so I don't know. For all I know, it could be a scam. But there's this new thing called Easily that very similar to Manifold, but they give you a mint button that allows you to do busy minting, which is good for PFP projects. But it's a cool platform. Yeah, I guess, I don't know. You guys want to talk about smart contracts? Like, what do you guys want to talk about? Any questions? Yeah. Let's go throw some more links.
Yep. So you can actually add, if you click on the comments button above, you can actually, you can interact with the public chat. You're probably interacting with our private chat, which is cool. We can repost it for you.
For some reason, I don't see anywhere to put a chat message in the.
Yeah, it should be 2 tabs there, but it's okay. We can post it for you. It's not a problem. We're just reposting it for you. So I think the big thing here is the takeaway is that it's really easy to actually list something, to actually to put it up for sale, basically to mint an NFT. Super simple. And I think the key thing I wanted people to take away here is that OpenSea is a great beginner platform because they don't necessarily have some of the things that a more sophisticated person who's building NFTs. Like you can't really do things in bulk in the UI. I don't know if the API, if you can or not, but in the UI, you can't really do things in bulk. And royalties is not as sophisticated as some other platforms. Like you only can do like a royalty for one person. But let's imagine you had an asset that you had a group of people that wanted to be able to get paid off of that. There's no really way of doing that, at least through the UI. Now I know you use like Rarible and other ones. Like, is there anything you like about Rarible, like opposed to OpenSea? I think you mentioned a couple of those, but maybe just talk to a couple of those.
Yeah, I'm with I don't want to butcher his name. Is it Kevin?
Kevin Butler.
I'm with him. Butler. These are tools, and it's fun. They're fun to cut your teeth and to learn about the ecosystem. But once you learn about like the potential of NFTs to actually change your world or to solve real world problems, you start to think about these edge cases that these platforms aren't really designed for. And one of the things, I guess my biggest, pet peeve is that you're kind of thrown into a lump with everyone else, right? For OpenSea. So if you have your art on here, your token is going to say that you're part of the OpenSea open storefront contract, and it's gonna you're not really separating yourself as much as an artist, and so it doesn't give you as much provenance of like having the ownership of the contract. So yeah, I don't know. It's I think they're good tools. I think that they have a use case, and I think it's fun, and there's always going to be something new. So I try everything, and figure out like what works for me, and use what you can, but then always just be looking out for newer and better ways. Like this is just the beginning. I know it's cliche already that people say if you're here already, you're early, but it is still really early. Like don't get stuck on one thing.
I think that's the way to look at it, right? I think that this is like I truly believe OpenSea is going to be the MySpace of its time, right? I think it's going to be the thing that we're going to look back in a few years and be like, remember this OpenSea thing? Because you're going to really have somebody who comes through and have and able to benefit from kind of the first generation of these tools. I'm not just saying OpenSea, but there's a whole bunch of generation of these tools are kind of the first generation. And I think, these other tools are going to come behind it and make things, obviously make things a lot easier, a lot better, and things of that nature. The other thing, I think you already hit on it, is that it's really hard to figure out, like even for us, like when we do the way we're, selling tickets and how we did royalties, it is extremely hard on OpenSea in order to see where our royalties go and things of that nature. So you do have to search through either scan. And I think that's why we talked about it. I talked about it. Andrew talked about it. You really need to get familiar with those tools if you really want to validate a transaction happen so you can see if the royalties actually happen. And yes, you could just trust OpenSea and trust that the contract will work. But sometimes you want to validate this yourself. And to your point, if you ever go look at Etherscan and you look at it, and maybe that'd be one thing we might want to do, is that if you go click on one of your contracts inside of there, I mean, all you see is all the OpenSea contracts. So it's very hard to figure out where my stuff is without doing a whole bunch of searching.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that's where the do your own research comes into play, right? Is yeah, any contract that you interact with, you don't know like what it's doing unless you've looked at it. It's interesting, like doing development. I found myself into some situations where I got kind of dicey, where people are trying to have you connect to some private blockchain network and run some private nodes if you're just running a repo. So it's like you got to be really careful with these contracts. And yeah, definitely familiarity with Etherscan is crucial. It's kind of fun to mint a token not using a mint site too. If you ever get a chance, you can go to a contract in Etherscan and you can interact directly with the contract on Etherscan. I actually had to do that to buy Angel Baby Hit Squad. For some reason, the mint site wasn't working. But yeah, it's definitely a tool that you should be watching your Etherscan, checking it out, and seeing like where your money is going. And it's interesting too, because with the royalties thing, I've been thinking a lot about that too. It's weird because it adds more transaction price to the cost of transacting if you split the royalties. So if I have royalties and I say I want to give royalties to somebody else, every time I transfer that token, it's going to cost more to transfer the token too. So I've been trying to figure out like ways to do that. Like, do you use a community wallet, or how do you set that up? Like, having like a DAO or something. But yeah, I think the future is going to be like people are going to have their own marketplaces that are going to be interoperable, right? So if let's say you have your own your marketplace, like we can all have a marketplace and have it aggregate to the same place, but it's not, it's shared. It's not just owned by one person, I think is the whole idea of decentralized marketplaces, personally.
Yeah, I agree. The other thing I want to talk about, which is a little bit different, we have a few minutes, and we're not trying to hold people up for sure. Like this was, I think the cool thing here is we're able to show like these things aren't rocket science, and you can do this and spend more time. But I've been noticing a lot of people getting, like they're changing their Twitter handle to .eth. What do you think about that? Let me clarify this for everybody that's listening. So if you haven't noticed, your wallet address is this long hexadecimal number, and unless you are like a brainiac and you can remember that, God bless you. So what people have been doing is actually registering their actual wallet address with a name service, very much like how web addresses work today. So web addresses are really a four part number, okay? And what you do is you can register that 4-part number into what's called domain name service. So www.matthendricks.com really results to a 4-octet number, right? And so kind of the same thing they've done for wallet addresses as well. So like, how do you have a certain feeling around that? How do you think? Do you think it's trendy right now? It's cute, and you like?
Yeah.
What do you think?
So I did think it was trendy and cute. And now I'm a little bit on the fence about it, to be honest. I feel like there's a lot of scammers in the space, and now it's become a thing where it was like it kind of differentiated you from the rest of Twitter. It's like, hey, I'm part of crypto Twitter. I'm into NFTs, and if you see that, that means that I'm in the tribe or whatever, so to speak. And now I worry that I look like a scammer on there. It's sort of like a badge where it's you can take advantage of it. And so now I'm kind of on the fence between wanting to advertise it, but it definitely is part of your identity on the blockchain, right? It's kind of like your handle or your screen name, or like how you have a Twitter handle. And so I think you definitely kind of need one if you're going to traverse the metaverse and, you know, be in all these different spaces. You know, how are people going to find you, you know, if you're in Decentraland or Sandbox or NFT worlds or whatnot. Yeah, I'm on the fence over whether or not to advertise that and put that into my my Twitter handle. I find it interesting. Some people get sent NFTs that they don't want in their wallet too. I think it's funny. Yeah, it's definitely a thing. I think it was really cool. The Ethereum name service providers did a really big airdrop last year at the end of the year, and they airdropped ENS tokens to everybody that had bought a domain name up to a certain point. And so I'm definitely you know, team ENS. I think everybody should get one. And I definitely encourage people to try out new apps and different stuff like this, because you never know you know, what you might be building or flirting with, you know, some airdrop or building some new thing that you might have some equity in.
So the only thing I don't like about it, because I am one of those people where, like, I am a trend follower. So I changed my Twitter handle to MattKendricks.eth. But what I don't like about it is that, like, obviously all my transactions, people can see them, right? Because before, yes, they could see them before, but they didn't necessarily know it was me. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
They just saw my address. So now, you know, they go there. It's very clear that it's Matt Kendricks. Now, I could have changed my handle to something different, you know, right? Something that would be hard for people to figure out was me. But I think that's the thing that I worry about. Now, here was the other thing I was going to talk about really quickly is I noticed that, you know, I don't know. So sometimes I always think about like dynamic wallet addresses. And some carriers, some people already do this already. Like whenever you send money, like it'll generate a wallet for you automatically. And then you send money to that wallet. And then that wallet, you can do whatever you want, move it to, you know, your main wallet or whatever. But it's kind of like throwaway wallets or whatever. So I've been really trying to figure out what my strategy is there. What do you do? Do you just basically have one wallet where everything goes to, or have you segmented things out and
yeah? So I definitely have a bunch of burner wallets. You know, I never just connect just to an app just with my main wallet. And then everything that I care about, you know, I have my main wallet. So Ezenwa.eth, you know, that's my main wallet address. And that's where I throw all my NFTs. And I, you know, I just have a Ledger hardware wallet. So it's like this guy right here. You know, anytime that any transaction that I need to, you know, confirm it on my hardware wallet, so that if something happens, because I'm out here living in the cracks of technology, and, you know, being, you know, kind of risky. It's kind of just jumping in the deep end. And so having that layer of protection, I guess, of having a hardware wallet, but then also if something, you know, doesn't, you know, at least have a few, you know, thumbs up and, you know, it feels pretty safe. I use a burner wallet for sure. And then, yeah.
Got it. Okay. Well, great, man. No, yeah, burner wallet is that's a great term. Yeah, for sure. That's the thing now, man. You got to have a burner wallet.
The burner wallet. Yeah. It's fun finding like a little bit of ETH in some of your burner wallets too. Got like 40 bucks in ETH, just chilling. You know, you never know.
That's never happened to me. I have never got anything for free. The only thing I've had happen to me is somebody sent me an NFT that I didn't really want. And I was like, I opened up my wallet one day and I'm like, where did this come from? And I realized that it's my public address. So it's fair game. Mm-hmm. Anybody can send me anything at that point. So that's the thing.
You send me your ETH handle and I'll send you an NFT, man.
I appreciate it, but no, thank you. I'll send you my burner wallet.
For sure.
But no, this was great. I think we scheduled this for a little longer than what we thought we were gonna need, because we just didn't know how people will go through. But this was really great. So unless people don't have any other issues or questions or all that good stuff, I will let you get at least, like, you know, another get 50 minutes back into your to your Saturday, because I know how much time is important to people. So, Ezenwa, I appreciate you. Thank you so much
Thanks for having
being
me
here. No, thank you.
Yeah, definitely.
So
If anyone wants to follow me, like, you know, my DMs are open. If you have any questions, like, feel free to hit me up. I love talking about NFTs and geeking out. Anytime, hit me up.